So we are having a very windy afternoon here in Southern California. I mean, it's super windy. Hope my plants survive. Welcome to Daytime Today. I'm James Lott Jr. It's on Saturday. I wasn't planning on coming on, but I actually been watching The Young and the Restless this week, and I have some comments. So come on in if you want and check us out. Right now, Daytime Today comes on several times a week. We discuss issues. My hair is all. What do you think? I'm going to show you. I had a ponytail in here earlier. I was doing some stuff. Let's take it off. You know, my crazy hair. This is live on TV, kids. I can't get it off, of course. I had the hat on, but it was like making a weird bump in my hair. Look at this. This is black people hair right here. Right here. Trying to get off. There we go. Woo! Look at that hair I got. But now I put the hat on. I don't want to wear it. There we go. That's much better. That's much better. There we go. Live on TV. I show it all. Okay. So I got some issues. Watching Y&R, which tomorrow I will be on with my group with Tammy Govea and Amanda Russ talking about Y&R the whole week tomorrow at 10 a.m. 6 Standard Time, plus Bold 11 and GH at 1 p.m. That's all the soap block tomorrow. We're doing that. But I wanted to say, I had some comments. I'm like, I had a problem with this before, and I'm having a problem with it now. So the show gives us Hamilton Winters, run by Devon. The show gave us, for a second, it seemed like, just for a second, that Imani and Amanda were creating their own law of practice. So there'd be a second black-run business. Now, Nate had the nonprofit, and then now we got, yes, Lily is taking over Chancellor in terms of being CEO of Chancellor. She's black, yes, I know that, I can see that. She is black, but still kind of assisting with Jill, who's white. And it's still not really fully all hers, but her trying to snatch up Amanda, and by way of Imani, and snatching up now Devon's business, Hamilton Winters, under the umbrella of Chancellor. I do things about race, I just do, but I'm black, so I see things in a different lens. And I'm not going to apologize for that. I understand writing. I'm a writer myself. I have some drama series and stuff. I understand that too. So I come from several points of view. Now, if these were all white people, maybe I wouldn't feel so bad. But I almost feel like, I almost wish Amanda said no. And maybe Imani came over and caused a conflict with the sisters. That's one suggestion I could have done. Or they both said no and didn't become counsel for a chancellor. Or Imani said, no, I'm keeping the business. You can go and I'm going to run it myself. And causing conflict with the sisters, which is completely a great storyline. See how that works. Maybe she gets the client that's the opposite of chancellor. They can fight together. I'm just like, okay. I know that Amanda's the senior and Imani's the junior, but I was looking forward to having the two black women, right, Janaea, having their own practice, having their own business, kind of give something to do to show people representation matters, right? Also, we got Lola's gone, so society is run by Abby on them, but like there's no, so she had a business at one point too. There's no Latino business running around. Now, Hamilton Winters, I'm like, this Neil, one of Neil's major storylines, his storyline arc, was that he started out as being underneath Brad and all them and Victor, and was a businessman all the way through until he got his own. He grew into his own business, working with his son and the whole thing, right? You guys are all there with you, right? So they had their own business, and it was run. And now Devon has it. It's great, and it's huge. And like Devon said, Why would I do this? Because I have a total autonomy. The same thing Amanda said. Why would I join you guys when I have total autonomy? And I just think it's so weird to me, as you guys are all kind of agreeing, a little confusing to me, why suddenly, yeah, mergers happen. I get all that. Why are we snatching about the black businesses? Like, yes, Hamilton Winters is a legacy brand. Thank you, Janaea. Yes. Hi. So now, I mean, I get the Ashland Locke stuff and Newman. That part, all of that I'm fine with. I get it. But this stuff over here, it's kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me as a black person. And yes, Lily's black, and yes, she's in charge of Hamilton, of Chancellor, and running things. I love the relationship between Lily and Jill. It's really windy outside. It's crazy. I love them together. I love that she's kind of mentoring her, talking to her. I love it. Okay. I do. I love it. I have no problem with that. But it just seems really weird to me, you guys. It does. It seems strange. I'm not saying racist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it just seems really interesting. Choosing my words carefully. Someone can say, James, you said that. I didn't say that. I'm saying it's really interesting that these decisions are being made. I like that Armani and Amanda are having conflict with each other. CJ. Nobody. I said I'm a writer, so I get story, but I'm also black, and I get story, and I'm just kind of like, and even if it was a mistake, even if the writers were like not going that direction, it's just so weird to me that that's the choice. So you already have a merger story already going on already. You have the Ashland Locke thing and Newman Media. So we need another one, and that's even that. So take the race out of it. We already have a merger story going. Right, a lot going on at once and quickly. You got the other side. Why are we touching that? I don't understand, like, why that's happening. And so I'm like, Hamilton would just be left alone. Yeah, merging together, doing the podcast thing and doing some stuff together. Okay, that's great collaborations. A merger on a deal, possibly. We both are, involved. Okay, I'm good with that. And see, to me, that's wonderful, showing that two black CEOs can work together. Be wonderful. But that thing with the lawyer stuff, that bugged me. That bugs me still. It's like they were going. They really pushed that together. I want to see the sisters really work it out on their own. So what? I forgot my phone's on. 1 second. Somebody's texting me. It does seem just like out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. It doesn't seem like it was like they were trying to find an office and all this stuff, and all of a sudden, poof, we want you to come here instead. It's almost like I wish they had thought this before they started the business. To me, optics are everything. So maybe if they had started this before, they actually had made a business and made a business. Oh, I should turn it off. Turn my phone off. It just feels weird. It's an optics thing for me. Yes, exactly. But yes, they're mining some conflict out of this. Also, I'm trying to look at all sides of this. They are mining some conflict, obviously, with this, but exactly, Menifer. I would think you'd have separate story. And my thing is, well, then what really would be interesting is if Amanda and Imani have their own business and they get a client that is against them. That would be a conflict with Devon, Lily. That would be great conflict. They're looking for an office space. And see, now, here's the other side, another side of this I'll bring up. Sure, having Black women work together, that's a nice look also. That's also representation. Okay, I'll go for that. That's fine too. So Lily, Amanda, and Imani working together would be great. But, however, comma, again, I think it's the way it's been executed that's not sitting right with me. And I'm just going, so let's say her business is dead because now she's working for them. Then they merge Hamilton Winters and whatever that looks like. I mean, I thought Imani was asking some really great questions like, well, how's that going to look? And what does that mean? And what's that, all this stuff. It's just a meeting between Devon and Lily. Oh, shut up, Amanda. Like, we don't need you to say all that. You need to go, you say all that. But it's getting my nerves. But it's like, okay, so they merge or they take over. So it's going to be just Chancellor that has the big conglomerate on one side, and then Newman Luck on the other side. And so that's going just two big titans. That's it. Is this Monopoly? What's going on? It's just so weird to me. So I'm glad you guys are we're in a chat room, are kind of agreeing. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine too. You know, folks, that's fine. That's weird. But I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to say to you guys, I was seeing something that was kind of bugging me. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not sure if I like this or not, the direction it's going. And we also got Devon wanting more stuff with Dominique. I'll talk about that tomorrow on the show. I won't talk about that now. Speaking of Black things, I talked about yesterday the Trina situation. They have a new Jordan, they have a new Trina coming, and folks are losing their shit. And I'm just like, wow, people are making up stuff that I'm like, that's not even true. I'm like, wow. Now, GH, and my thing, somebody they're calling for a boycott of GH. What? Someone says something that I totally agree with. No matter who comes in the role, we like the character of Trina. We want the character of Trina to stay on the canvas. So let's support whoever comes in next. Hopefully, do a good job and can recreate the chemistry that Nicholas Chavez and Steve Michaela had, and let's keep the storyline going. Some people are bringing up a point that I'm not mad at either. They're like, we need Trina to have some Black friends. Well, for me, it's like some diverse friends. No offense to Joss and Cameron, and Ezra's not a friend, but it is a little white in the teen scene. Nicholas Chavez, I think is of well, he's played on the show. He's of Hispanic descent, but he plays Greek, which is that's a whole other story. I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling what people are feeling. Like, she needs another, like, we get some Black man on there, a black man or another Black girl. Why? That's a really good question. Why can't we have? In the adult thing, thank God, on GH we have it. We have several Black men. We have several Black women. We have several Black women, sets of Black women on there. We have Stella and Epiphany. We have now Jordan's back. We have Portia. So for the teen scene, it is very white. I mean, sometimes that happens. I mean, it is upstate New York. I have cousins who went to school in Cornell and Ithaca, and it was very white there. So it's not that they're doing anything that's out of turn, but maybe I'm not necessarily saying they bring a Black guy on the show that they have to be together. And I was not saying that at all, but like maybe mix it up a bit, because it does feel a little. Again, optics are everything. It feels a little lopsided for some of us. Or maybe somebody Asian or somebody. I'm like, where's Selena Woody's back? My girl Lydia she's come back on the show. I love my Lydia. I know she's probably gonna come back, but I need some more Selena. I'm not back for so no, there aren't. That's what's so funny. You go on days. We have some Black folks, of course. Most of them are related. That's kind of a problem. And on on Bold and Beautiful, only a couple of Black folks. They're all basically related. But they brought on Homeboy again from the Talk, Akbar. I can't pronounce his last name. Came back on, asking about Carter. I'd love to see that friendship more solidified. I mean, trust me, I have white friends. I have white family members. I have white grandchildren. I have nothing. I'm not against white people. I want to say that. It's just that we just want some more diversity on these shows. It's like it seems more glaring. It's always been like this. It's not anything new. It just seems glaring more. It's like, yes, let's show more. I'm all for change in all areas. Show more friendships. We just started doing some of these stuff. So we show friendships. Like, give people some friends. Not everybody has to sleep together. I feel like Drew and Carly should just be friends on General Hospital. They don't have to sleep together. Eventually, or no, he's not Jason. Like, it's like, can we just have male, female friends? There's that whole cliche of like, men and women can't be friends. They always want to. I'm like, why is that? Why is it that it doesn't have to be that way? Really, there's enough romance going around other stuff, but I'm like, make them friends. That's it. Cheese and crackers. It's like, does everybody have to be a love interest? I just think that's not necessary. So I'm all for, again, I'm all for optics. It's like, can we look at this a little differently, please? It's just it becomes in a way I just feel like a little lazy. You're just like, oh, okay, well, let's chem test them together, see if they work. It's like, well, not every man and woman needs to be together. They just don't. And don't get me started on the gay stuff. Don't get me started there. You don't get me started there. Don't. But I feel like there are things that could be possibly on purpose, or I say sometimes, because I'm not that conspiracy theorist. Sometimes things happen and people don't realize it. You know what I mean? Like, you're just thinking of a storyline, you're thinking of these people, and you don't look at, like, oh, I'm kind of dissing the chicks right now. Oh, I'm kind of dissing the gay folks. Oh, I'm kind of dissing the Black people. Like, sometimes I believe sometimes that is the case, where you're just kind of writing a story and you start putting characters together, but you don't realize how it may look. I think that happens sometimes. I really do. I think it happens sometimes. I don't think everything's racially motivated. I think sometimes some things happen, and so I was all for, with the whole Carter thing. I understood why Black folks from Watch One were upset. I understand the Mandingo syndrome. I get just on Black man. I know all about that. I totally get it. But talking to Lawrence St. Victor, who's also a writer on the show, it wasn't about glorifying that he was a Black man. They were trying to give him a regular story like everybody else. But because we don't, and the problem is because we hardly ever see that happen, then the glaring stuff comes out to the forefront, like the Mandingo says, complex. If we had more storyline where everybody was just everybody and they're all doing the same thing, it wouldn't be a problem. I thought, for a complete fact, I was like, Carter and Quinn had sex appeal. Quarter to me was hot. Unbelievable. You watch my shows, I was like, they were hot. And so I think that was the problem, is that maybe like the Quarter was hot, but just we don't see it very often. The racial thing and all that kind of very often. And the storyline also had that whole element of, now Eric knows, and Eric now hires him out like a stud for hire. That's when the storyline had a bad optical turn. And even though Carter did fight back with Eric saying, no, you can't tell her what to do, blah, blah, he ended up still sleeping with her. And even though it's because he had feelings for her, it looked really bad. So I said, I totally get that. That part, I totally got it. I would never argue with Black folks say you can't feel that way. I totally got it. But I think what they were trying to go for was something in between that wasn't about race, it was about the characters. And I actually believe it. I could be wrong. I found out later it was all racial. Who knows, right? But I try to believe that, no, that was actually something that it was character driven, not race driven, but it didn't look good at some point. I mean, they look good, but I mean, it didn't look good in the other areas. So I kind of get that. This Chemo storyline, again, I'll talk this tomorrow on the show, but you know, he was Asian, he was Amerasian, and you couldn't get an Asian actor to come on to play his son, so you kill him off. I think they're bringing on his granddaughter. That's fine, I guess. I'll take it. But it's almost like all these years, longtime viewers like myself have been wanting a Chemo Jack reunion. Could he at least reunited and then he died? I mean, I feel like, again, it's another optics thing. It's like, I know that soaps sometimes the rule is don't give everybody what they want. You give them what they need. That's the joke. You give them little bits. On my audio dramas, I'm very big on cliffhangers. But eventually you give them something. Now, I almost feel like you could have gave us Chemo just for a few minutes, an episode or two, very least, and then did something. Just me. That's just me. By Amazon. I just ate lunch. I see why some folks, I say I talk shit about so Twitter all the time. I do. I think so Twitter's bonkers. But some of the things they bring up, I do agree with. I have to. I know this is like big news. Some things they bring up, I'm like, okay, that does look a little weird. Totally get it. Not everything they bring up, but some things I'm like, yeah, I will agree with that. You know, and again, I said before in other shows, yes, some storylines are meant to enrage you. Some storylines are meant to make you upset. Some storylines are meant to get you talking. That's the point of soaps. You go, what did they do that for? Why? That's the point. That's the point. So I totally guess I always get so huffy and puffy when, and certain storylines I feel like are so blatantly meant to make you upset. Then so when you get upset, you fall right into a trap. That's how it gets. Like you're falling into the trap because that's what they want you to do. But it's these little things that I'm pointing out to you today. I'm kind of like, they're little things, but not little things. And I said, I see things through a lens of a person of color, as a person who's othered. And I just feel like, and especially for women out there who watch the shows, you want to see, you would think you would want to see strong women in soaps. You want to see them, sisters do it for themselves, so to speak, right? And there's certain ways to achieve that. And I just wonder if on some of these shows, is that doing that, is that the right way? Is that the way to go? Tell you guys, it's something else. So yeah. It just becomes this thing. I don't want to police the soaps. I do opinion television, and that's what I do. So I talk about soaps, and that's why I have the shows on Sundays. I have these shows right now. This is Soap Chat in the afternoon, which is something I started daytime today. We talk about the issues of the day. I don't want to police them and be like on top of them every 5 seconds saying, well, what are you doing this? What are you doing? But I am observing some things that I just want to bring out to you guys out there. And so I see some of you guys agree, and some of you not agree, and that's fine. But we should always be striving for representation of some sort on these shows and imaginative thinking and not the same storyline over and over again. And folks say, well, it's just soaps, James. What do you expect? Well, I expect some good writing still. Soaps, there's no excuse for not good writing for soaps. I mean, there are good writers out there who have spun tales that were just amazing and made twists and turns that, would infuriate you but make you happy at the same time. And so I don't buy the argument of, well, soap writers are like less than any other writer. Anybody can write a bad show, no matter what genre or time of day it is. The show airs. Anybody can write one. But I'm talking about, so I expect, especially long-running serials, long-running daytime dramas, to look at the big picture. You got people on your staff. That's why for continuity. That's why for you need somebody to look at it and go, wait a minute, this script, we can't do this. Yes, now the writers have a vision, and producers and networks are all involved. They have a vision, I'm sure. And so, I don't know. And maybe it'll change. Maybe Imani and then we'll break up and she will have her own business. Who knows? But I'm saying, as of this week, when I was watching the show, I was like, I'm having a problem with this. I don't know, kids. I'm having a problem. So tell me what you think. Thanks you guys for coming in the chat room. I really appreciate it. Tell me what you think about these. I brought up the chemo thing. I brought up the whole Lily and Devon and the businesses thing. So I mean, just the Trina thing. So everybody just let me know what you think, of course, and all that. And let me know if it's something you agree with or disagree with or whatever. But but I will be on for Soap Block tomorrow. Trust and believe. And I will see you next time on an edition of Daytime Today.